Good morning or good evening, depending on where you are today. Welcome to Let's Talk LinkedIn. My usual co-host Guy is still on vacation. It's his last vacation day. So he will be back next week in the studio with me after a break of 3 weeks. But today I will have a talk with Lynnaire Johnson out of New Zealand, which I look forward to meeting somewhere end of October, beginning of November life, and we'll talk a little bit about LinkedIn and whatever's happening on LinkedIn today. Good evening, Lynnaire.
Good evening, Mick, and thank you so very much indeed for inviting me back. I do look forward to Guy's vacations when I can come and have a chat with you myself. It's just lovely to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. One thing I will do is when I come to New Zealand at the end of the year, we'll do a LinkedIn Live together on site where we're in the same time zone.
I would really look forward to that, and I think that will be lots of fun. We'll get a lot of people along to that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. As you know, it's very warm here in Belgium, so we have extreme hot temperatures in Europe, and it has nothing to do with the World Cup soccer that's going on for the moment, because the results are disappointing. But today we'll talk about a little bit about LinkedIn, and I would like as a main topic that we talk a little bit about the download of LinkedIn. But before we start, anything you want to throw on the table?
I do. I want to tell you how much I'm enjoying your book. I got my copy last week, a week ago today. It's called Mic Drop, at least that's how I would pronounce it. But of course, in your case, it's Mic Drop. And it is excellent. Almost every paragraph that I read makes me go, oh, I want to write a post about that. Or that's really useful information. And as you know, I've been on LinkedIn for a while. So for you to be saying things in your very well-produced book, I have to say, is really fantastic. And I am enjoying it. I highly recommend it for anybody who doesn't have a copy. Available on Amazon, and I'm not being paid to say this. I am really seriously enjoying it, Mick. It's a great book. Well done. Congratulations.
It's been a long time coming, I guess. I mean, for over 10 years, people have been asking me to write a book, and I've always stayed away because of one reason. One main reason, at least, is LinkedIn changes so much that whenever you write a book, and you are probably aware of that too, but it's outdated the moment you publish it.
And that makes it very difficult, doesn't it?
Yeah. So it took me a number of conversations with people to understand that I could write a book without screenshots.
Oh, yes. Well, of course, screenshots date a book very, very quickly, don't they? So that was very, very wise of you. But I also think that the quality of the content stands on its own. It doesn't need screenshots or images. And of course, really top quality academic style books don't have images in the main. And so I don't see that they're necessary. And your text does stand up without images, no question. And from what I read already, it's good evergreen content. And so, yes, as I say, a very good read, Mick. You should be very proud of it.
Thanks. Like I said, I am proud. It was a long endeavor, but I enjoyed it. I learned a lot about myself. I had a lot of aha moments when I wrote it. And it made me discover the fact that maybe this isn't going to be my only book.
Oh, good. Oh, that's great news. I'm very pleased to hear that. But it won't take you 10 years to write the next one, will it?
No. I mean, in all honesty, I have two book outlines in my head. One is already kind of like written out as a table of contents. So yeah, I found that it was easier to write than I thought. And I think now that I've gone through the whole process of from the ideas to the book, I think I know what to expect. I know how to drive it now. So I think it's going to be less inventing in the sense of what's next than actually just writing it down.
And also, you'll know what personal habits are important for writing a book in terms of the discipline of doing some every day, if that's how you've written it. I think that's the kind of knowledge that you need to have, or the insights, if you like, that you need to have in order to do a second one. And yes, I'd agree that a second book would be easier. So I look forward to that. Are you taking pre-orders on that yet?
No, because it's too far out at this point. I have the intent of working on the book in the summer months, or at least one of them in the summer months. Not that it's going to be finished by then, but yeah, I don't know. I don't want to put a timing on it at this point because I have no idea how easy it will flow or not flow, and there's also the work around us that needs to be done. So depending on how much time I get to write, so I don't know when it will be finished. But I've got 2 books that schematically are laid out. One is going to be more practical, and the other one is going to be more non-fictional one.
Okay, well, that sounds really interesting. And of course, in the meantime, you do have to market your new one, your current one, because you and I both know that getting the book published is only the beginning. It takes a bit more effort to get it in the hands of the people who actually need to see it.
Yeah, that's the challenge now, and I've done to the run up with the book. I've done a bit of marketing, but I'm now going to, with the summer months, tune it down a little, and then re-kick it up at the end of August, beginning of September.
Well, that makes sense to me. Now, to answer your actual question, I'd really like to hear what your opinion is on the new collaborative posts that were just mentioned in the last week or so, as opposed to collaborative articles. May they rest in peace. But the collaborative posts sound like an interesting idea, but I haven't seen it in action apart from the promo post that LinkedIn themselves put out about it. Do you think that it's got legs, that it will be anything that is useful for us materially, or is it just going to be something that's just another toy?
I think it's going to be another toy. In all honesty, I think it's going to be another toy. I understand why the excitement is there, and I can see it working maybe for a few people, but I think it's going to be just another toy functionality on LinkedIn. I mean, like you, I haven't seen it in practice, so we'll have to wait and see. It's kind of like a build on from at least that's my gut feeling. It's kind of like a build on thought leadership posts, but kind of like a little with a different twist.
I imagine it'll be a money-making endeavor. I doubt they'll give it to us for free. Is that your take on it too?
Well, I don't think it's going to be for free, in all honesty. I think somebody will have to pay. And I'm not sure. It's the only other question is, where are they going to stick it? Are they going to stick it on a company business page? Are they going to stick it in all in one? Are they going to stick it in something else? I have no idea.
Well, it would be interesting to know, wouldn't it? Because if you and I were, for example, to collaborate together on a post, you would expect that it would be a unique post, if you like, on each of our profiles, wouldn't you? Rather than either hosted on yours or mine. But again, until we see it, I guess we won't really know.
Yeah, well, that's why I think that it might be applicable and a feature of a company business premium, because that would make sense to put it in the premium, and it would add value, benefit, and whatever, because you could have your employees or influencers or whatever collaborate on content for the company page, making it more human.
Well, that would be a very good thing if that is the case, but that leaves a lot of us out in the cold because, as
Yep,
you and I both know,
yep,
reach on company page posts is pretty negligible, and it
yep,
would be much better value for us if the posts like that, the collaborative ones, could be on our profiles and our own activity
mhm,
sections. They'd get much more
yep.
view, I would imagine, much more reach.
Well, and the other thing is, if you look at all the subscriptions that LinkedIn has, none of them really focuses on content writing.
Oh, no, that's a very good point. Which
So,
brings me to something that I saw this week that I thought was very odd. As a premium member, we're
mhm,
allowed to give a free 2-month subscription to a number of people every year.
yep,
And when I went to give that to somebody just this week, it
mhm,
was a career version of LinkedIn, which I've never used, and I wouldn't have any need to give to
mhm.
anybody, and anybody I wanted to give it to, that would not be of value for them. Have you seen that? Is that something that is kind of like a major change, or is it just something that was an aberration and it will go back to normal next week? I mean, I've had this for a very long time, and it's the
Okay.
first time I've seen it as a career version of LinkedIn that I can give away.
That's kind of odd because, and the only place where I've seen it and I've used it is in Sales Navigator, and you do it from Sales Navigator, so it makes sense there.
Right. Well, it certainly didn't make any sense to me when I saw it on my profile and I wanted to give it
Yeah.
to a client to try premium
Mhm,
out for 2 months to see if it made a
mhm.
difference. And
Right. Right.
what I see as my role in this is I'm not
Mhm,
only to help my client to understand how premium works
mhm,
and to see whether it's of value, but
mhm.
also as a quasi seller or distributor on
Right.
LinkedIn's behalf, right? Because we can give away 2 months where LinkedIn only
Mhm.
themselves give away one. And if
Yep.
it takes 2 months for somebody to understand how premium works, which I think is
Mhm.
probably fair to say,
Yep.
then what they're doing is cutting off their nose to spite their face, because clearly I'm not going to be giving away any more free 2-month subscriptions to people to try
Yeah.
LinkedIn, a paid version of LinkedIn if it's the career one.
Yeah. I think in all honesty, I haven't given anything away like that before.
Okay.
It's a good idea to run a little test in the next weeks with a few people that want to try it. I also think when you give it away to somebody, the person needs to be committed to actually using it. Otherwise, they'll use 2 months for free, probably not using all the features and functions in the premium, and then
Mm.
decide that it's not worth their time and money.
Well, that is true. And as you and I both know, not everybody loves LinkedIn like we do. And so they're
Yeah.
not likely to spend as much time on it trying to make it work as, or let premium, test premium out, shall we say, as you and I would with a new
Right.
feature. So,
But
yes, I just thought that was a bit strange.
the,
That was all.
the other thing that I'm wondering, Lynnaire, is what version of premium do you have today? Business premium, sales?
Business premium, yes. Mm.
Now it makes sense to me. I think if you have business premium, you probably can only give away the career, and it's kind of odd that they don't do the business one, but it makes sense. If I do a sales navigator, I am Sales Navigator Advanced, I can give 2 months. People get the core version of Sales
Mm.
Navigator. So what it might be is that it's related to your own um, premium subscription, what you can give away. But
Well, up until
I have
now,
no
it's
proof.
always.
I have no proof. This is just Mick thinking.
Well, up until now, I've been able to give away business premium. As of now, I can only seem to give away career. But anyway, so that was just something that I did spot that was very annoying on LinkedIn this week for me.
Yeah. Well, talking about annoying things, when you have a premium subscription, you have the ability to have up to 5 banners, right?
Yes.
And the thing is that these banners keep rotating. There is no way to make them stop rotating.
No. Although I thought that there was earlier on, but
Yes.
like you, I think that they've removed that feature because when I tried to take a screenshot recently of the banner I wanted to
Mhm.
show, I couldn't get it to stop. So
Well,
I think they have removed that,
but
Mick.
yeah, they
Yeah.
did remove. I used to be able to click on, one of the 5 buttons to get
Yeah.
the image that I want, because it's
Mm.
really annoying during trainings. When you do a training, this banner keeps turning around, and people are distracted by trying
Mm.
to look at the banner.
Well, that's exactly right. And I'm not quite sure why they would have removed that, but maybe they did that at
Yeah.
the time that they increased the size of the button that shows you where in that sequence
Okay.
the banner that's
Yeah.
currently on, because they made that a lot bigger, which
Yeah.
was really annoying as well, because now you have to make sure you don't put any text in that bottom
Right.
right-hand corner that is
Right.
going to overlap that
Yeah.
or be hidden by it, is what I
Right.
really mean. So yeah, which is really unusual. But I don't have all 5 banners. I did to start with, but I only have 4 now because I decided that 5 was just too many and it was
Mm.
overwhelming. And so I simplified my banners, pared them right back, and that does seem to have made a difference. Well, it makes a difference to me when I'm on my profile anyway. I don't find it quite so annoying as I did before.
Yeah, the thing is, I currently use 5 banners for different reasons. This LinkedIn Live is one of them, and yeah, it's just every time I do a training, it's just so frustrating. So what
Mm.
I try and do is I explain something about the banners, and then make sure it's off the screen so people don't get distracted by what's on this banner, what's on this banner. So
Mm,
it's
mm.
it's it's one of those things. They should bring that back. That's as far as I'm
I
concerned.
absolutely agree. Now, also speaking about being annoying,
Uh-huh.
the topic that you decided you wanted to talk about mainly for today, I would like to complain about that too, if I may. So
Oh,
please.
okay.
You wanted to talk about the full data download from
Yeah.
LinkedIn.
Yes. 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 Yes.
And
I mean,
so
we're halfway in the year. We should download. Everybody should download their data from LinkedIn, because that's basically your backup.
I agree. So I did that just this week to make sure that I had my facts up to date and to
Yep.
see what was what it might have changed and so on. And I've been through every file that LinkedIn now provides in that download. And I have
Mhm.
to say that apart from finding out that in something like 6 years, I've written 172 articles and
Right.
27,000 comments, I didn't find a lot of useful data in there, and a number of the files were unreadable, or they had information in there that didn't make any sense to me. And
Mhm.
I was quite underwhelmed by it in total. Now, of course, I think it's very important to always have an up-to-date list of all your connections, and I do tend to do that on a regular basis, once a month. But the rest of it, frankly, I'm not at all certain that the everyday average user of LinkedIn would find it hugely useful. But I'm guessing that you've got some tricks up your sleeve that I might have missed.
Well, the thing is, to be honest, I've also saw that sometimes the files are incomplete,
Yes.
that you don't get all the data that is in the file.
Mm.
As you probably know, I was suspended on LinkedIn about 3 years ago for a couple of weeks, and that did something to certain files, that all of a sudden all my data doesn't go back to 2004 anymore, but it goes only back to 2023 or 2024 or something like that. So
Okay.
there's something there, that the data isn't always correct. Sometimes data is purely missing. I've got people doing a download where the shares file is, which is all your posts, are not downloaded.
Mm.
So then you got to go and do it again, or you got to go to LinkedIn Help and ask for that shares file. But that being the case, people kind of give up quickly, because of that. The second reason is you did mention some of the files are oddly structured. Take a look at your shares file. It's very oddly structured. It's not like it used to be. What it seems to have happened is as LinkedIn changed formats or ways that they allowed us to do things, all of a sudden, the format in the file actually changed. And so it doesn't make sense when you look at the data that is recorded today and compare that to the data that was recorded in 2008 or 9 or 10 or whatever. So that's a bit of frustration too. Now, I do understand that a lot of people don't use their download in any shape or form. People think, why should I? There is a lot of intelligence in that. And the thing is, sometimes it requires combining two files together. For example, if you take your connections file, which is all your connections on LinkedIn, and you combine that with the file that says messages, you can, through the use of AI, you can make a list of all the people that you sent a message to or got a message from. So you can identify the people you've never had conversations with on the platform.
Well, that really fits into exactly what I was just reading about in your book about building your network so quickly that you have no idea who half the people are in it, and not sending anybody any messages. Well, that fits in really well. That's a really clever idea. So you're talking about uploading to your AI your connections file and your messages file from the download, and then asking it to tell you either who you have messaged and presumably who you haven't. So then you can start to work through those people.
Yeah. The other thing is, and here's another one that I find useful, and I'm using this very heavily. I used to be a person sending everybody birthday wishes. I stopped.
Oh, right. Okay.
But what I'm doing now is I'm going to my connections file, and I'm asking, who did I connect with 5, 10, 15, and 20 years ago?
As of today's date, for example. So it's like a LinkedIn anniversary date. That's a really good idea. And that's clever.
And it's an open door. It's like, okay, we've been connected for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, whatever the number is. How are you doing? What do you find? You don't have to get into even the LinkedIn stuff. It's just like, how are you doing? And just trying to keep in touch with you after 5 years or 10 years. Most of the time, you will see that the message that you send to that person is like old, and it's a good way to basically warm up your network with something relevant, your connection date, and just picking up the thread where you might have left off.
Did I read in your book that something like just over 70% of the time that works and you get a response? Was that the number that I saw?
Yep, that's about right. Because it's not a sales pitch. It's just, you're just trying to be human, because that's the backbone of the book, of course. But you're trying to bring the human element back into, and the human interest back into what the platform is. I mean, LinkedIn started out as a platform for networking, not a platform for posting and broadcasting. That got added on later on, and it's only taken up by a very small amount of people like you and me, and 2% of the LinkedIn community. But just the thing is, keeping your network warm is one of the key elements to make it human. And the way to do this for me now is through the connection anniversaries, which is different. It takes and it's a simple prompt. This is like, on today's date, who did I connect with 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago? Make a list. And then you got a list. And in my case, that list is 5, 10 people long every day. And by the end of the year, theoretically, I will have addressed everybody.
Well, I think that makes a lot of sense, because you don't want to be just communicating out of the blue with people for no
Yeah.
particular reason.
Yeah.
And I like the LinkedIn anniversary because it's different from the birthday one, but also it's the work anniversary one, I think, is can lead people in the wrong direction, because if somebody doesn't know they need to turn off the setting that tells everybody when they've updated their profile, right, then it looks like they've got a brand new job. And if that's what you are seeing and you reach out to them, you're going to look a bit silly when you congratulate them on a new job. So I think that the LinkedIn anniversary is a really good way to resurrect connections and the communication with them. And the other thing that's on my mind about this one too at the moment, Mick, is that now that reach on posts is so low, I'm wanting to spend less time on that and more time on reaching out individually and building those connections, because it's always been the case that you get value from people that you have a relationship with. You don't very often get value from people that you don't. And so you need to be top of mind with them. And what better way to do that than just to send them a short message? And I just think that makes a lot more sense these days than trying to spend a lot of time going to the effort of writing posts. It's not the post so much that I'm having a problem with. It's the media that goes with the post. So the carousel, the video, the infographic, it takes the time and or the money, and AI can't read it. So unless I put all of the content that's in the video, the carousel, or the infographic into the text of the post, then LinkedIn's AI doesn't have a clue what the post is all about. And again, wasted half my time. So that's my current thinking, is to do fewer posts and simplify them and make them easier for AI to understand.
Yeah, I think that's a good approach. And obviously the more AI can read, the better the result will be, or the more relevant people will actually see the posts in this case. But wouldn't those statistics and those little tips and tricks be interesting to put in a book, you think?
Oh, now you've got a third book coming up. I can tell. I can hear your brain whirring all the way from New Zealand.
So to lift up, it's going that direction. It's how to. That's one of the books that I'm considering, is how to make sense of all these files. And I've been doing posts about these since last summer, on how to get intelligence out of these files. Now, I must admit, very few people actually are interested, between parentheses, because it's nice to know the numbers, but it's the acting upon those numbers that is really the important thing.
I agree. And we have been conditioned for so long to chase reach and engagement and likes that it's very hard to give all that up and to turn it around into something that is quite different, Mick. And I agree with you. A lot of people are not interested in doing that because they've been conditioned to chase those vanity metrics. It's very hard to switch that ego off. And I'm exactly the same. Every time I see my profile viewers drop even further, there's this little switch inside my head that says, Lynnaire, you need to be inviting more people to connect. You need to be doing this and doing that. And then I go to myself, I'm the only person who knows these numbers. I don't know why it is I need to chase this, when in actual fact, I would be better off spending more time writing direct messages to people, communicating with them, engaging on posts, and doing other things that have a direct impact on my visibility, rather than something that's a vanity thing.
Yeah, but I like I said, there is data out there. It's people. There's the other thing is, people are asking me, and you get probably the same question every day. What's the best day in the week and the best time in the week to post? I mean, this data is buried in these files. But of course, you have to begin to start posting, because if you don't post, you will never find that moment. But if you post on a regular basis consistently, you can actually find what is for you working the best. And it's so simple. It's all buried, and it's literally buried in all those files, that you can go out there and figure out what is the best day of the week for impressions, engagement, whatever you want to chase. And again, people don't want to do that. They're just, they rather hear you say it's Thursday morning at 10 minutes past 11.
And of course, it's different for everybody anyway. And
Agreed.
it's the wrong question, in my view, what is the best day to post. I mean, that really does go back to that whole vanity thing, doesn't it? They're chasing the
Yeah.
wrong things. So I hear where you're going with this, Mick, and the idea of sharing some ways for people who are less numerically adept, shall we say, by which I mean I can't add 2 and 2 and get 4. To share some ideas about how we could do that with this information that we do download from LinkedIn. So I'd be up for that one if you were going to share any of that kind of information. That would be useful for someone like me.
All right. Well, I'll continue on Mondays to share how I use LinkedIn and AI kind of stuff to come up with some of these things, because I've already shared a bunch of these questions, because it's people asking you the question, what if, I would like to know this, this, and this. And it's like, okay, it's simple. You take this and this and this, you put it in AI, and there we go. It comes out of it.
It's simple for you, Mac. It's not necessarily simple for the rest of us.
I agree. I mean, I look at all these files on a regular basis. And the thing is, when you look at the download, there's things in there that, you kind of wonder why they put it in there. I mean, it's just.
And a lot of empty files, I noticed.
Yeah,
too,
or files with one line, your inference file or whatever it is.
I couldn't work out what that was about at all. Inference, what does that mean?
Well, it's theoretically what LinkedIn thinks you are as an individual on the platform. So LinkedIn thinks that I'm a junior person in recruitment that's on the platform, which is completely wrong. I don't know where LinkedIn gets this from, but it does sometimes. And it's really weird, some of these files, and I think trying to see the useful files, like shares, like comments, like likes, like your connection files, and those files that mean absolutely nothing. That is, I think, where what confuses people, because they when you get this, you go like, what the hell is this?
I think it also calls into question the accuracy of some of the files and their contents, Mick, too, which makes it no better than AI.
I mean, one of the things, and this is what we all know, the practice, please save my post to help me get more reach, right? And then the post goes into the saved items, which is like a big waste bin where you can't find anything. However, there is a file that has all your saved items, and you can go into that file with or without AI, and you can see how many items did you actually save, and what posts were they. And again, there's useful information to be gotten. I mean, when I ask people to, for example, how many companies do you follow? How many items did you save? All those kind of data comes out simply out of that data download. And you can then take action, like I'm going to delete all the saved items because they don't make sense, because you saved them for no apparent reason other than to help the creator.
Does it help you or the creator does it help you as the person saving them to have a lot of saved items, do you think? Does that tell the algorithm that you're interested in a lot of different people or specific people?
Well, but there's two sides to this story. You've got the if you save somebody else's post, the other person will get the benefit that LinkedIn thinks it's useful, so LinkedIn will distribute it to more people. For you, it will also say you're kind of interested in a post of that person, so you'll see more of their post. But what happens afterwards? That post sits in like the biggest waste bin in the world,
where it's not doing anything. So you may as well clean it up and delete it.
Try and search for something.
Yes. I do try hard to clean things up, but some of the files like the invites to come follow company pages, for example, I've got a file of those that's numbers in the thousands, and I would not have a hope in going through those and deleting all the people that I have invited to follow my company page.
Right.
And so I'm not at all certain how important it is to keep that stuff clean and tidy. And invites that you send that haven't been responded to, I can see the value in getting rid of those, but I'm not certain about some of the other invites, or invites to events, for example. There's quite a lot of those as well that are just sitting there doing nothing.
Okay, with the invites to events is the fact that you are somebody who kind of like goes to events or says yes to events. You can define a little bit what LinkedIn thinks about you, because if you accept a lot of invitations for events, you're going to get more invitations, and you then wonder why you get them.
Is that right? Because I thought that I would only get invitations as opposed to notifications about events because somebody has sent them to me.
Yeah, that is true too. I mean, but you're more likely to, you should just see the number of events you said yes to and didn't show up.
Most of them, to be honest, Mick. I showed up here.
But I mean, there's like I said, there's a lot of information that can be gotten out of it. But the other question is, how valuable is it to an end user, and are they willing to act upon it? And I think that's where most of the downloads go nowhere, because people download it and they have no idea even they downloaded it, and then you forget about it. But I think people should download a full download at least once a year, maybe twice a year, and then in between, like you do, your connections file, which is really the backup of your network.
Yes, and I like to do that to make sure that everybody I've connected with has received a message from me. And sometimes that is the only way that I can find out whether or not I have missed people, because I don't like to connect and then just to ghost someone. But inevitably, they fall through. People, they manage to fall through the cracks, don't they? Because you got busy doing something, or you didn't follow up your list this week, or whatever it might be. So anybody who's listening or watching who sent me a connection invite and never got a response or a follow-up thank you, I do apologize.
Well, yeah, and it's kind of very confrontational if you grow your network and you get into the thousands, you grow above 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, and then look at who have you never messaged in either direction. It can be very confrontational, and in the sense that you're gonna be very, very scared. In the sense,
I think you should be. Wow. I'll be embarrassed. I think embarrassment.
That's the word I was looking for. Embarrassed. Embarrassed was the word I was looking for.
I'm going to feel that, I think.
So what I would suggest that the people who watch this live now or in the replay, make your backup. Do it on the 30th of June. That way you have the full 6 months. It will take 48 hours before you get the full download, because it's kind of funny. LinkedIn sends you a small bit after about 15 minutes, and then comes back with the full download after about a day or two, depending on how much data they need to go dig up from the past. But I would encourage people to do that. If you have any questions, I'm sure Lynnaire and myself can help you with that. We're at the half-hour bit already. We're past the half-hour bit, so I guess we need to slowly wrap it up for today.
Mick, it's been such a pleasure having a chat with you. One of the reasons I like to try to catch your Friday lives is because being at the bottom of the world and you being in Europe, we see things quite differently. And there's always a take that you have about LinkedIn that I haven't considered before.
Mhm.
And it's just something that gives me a wider view of LinkedIn. And so while I might not attend all events
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
I accept invites to, I do very much like to try to listen, or yes, it is usually listening, to yours. And
Mhm.
I'm just so pleased to have a chance to pick your brains in person. And I am, as I say, thoroughly enjoying your
Yeah.
book. I can't wait for you to come to New Zealand later in the year when we're going to
Yeah.
get together and have our own little LinkedIn Live party. And that will likely be in Wellington, I'm guessing. Is that still your
Well,
plan?
actually, probably not, because the plans are slowly shaping up, and I might actually be driving down to the southern island.
It's called the South Island. Just
Sorry, the South Island. I'm not I haven't used the appropriate language yet.
You don't need to apologise to me about that, Mick. Most people couldn't find New Zealand on a map, so I wouldn't worry about that. Well, if you are coming to the South Island, wherever it
Yeah,
is that you decide to go in the South Island, then I will make sure that I come and stalk you there, and we will do our LinkedIn
yeah,
live
definitely,
together
definitely.
from there. So thank you again for the opportunity to chat with you today, and congratulations on the World Cup game tomorrow when New Zealand plays Belgium, which
I
I
know.
am very certain Belgium will win.
But most Belgians think differently, but that's okay. I mean,
Have
we'll
they
see who.
seen the
You
New
know what?
Zealand?
It's going to be a draw. I mean, I can feel it from now. It's going to be a draw, 1-1 or 0-0, whatever it is that they're going to be doing tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, we'll wake up tomorrow and know the answer.
Indeed, we will.
All
So
right.
thank you, and I'll
Thank
see
you.
you in October.
Yeah, same here. And everybody, thank you for joining in and giving some comments that I'll get back to. And next week we'll be back with Guy, usual spot, and we'll be doing a session in Dutch. And the week after that, we will be back in English. Have a great day. Try and keep cool for the people in Europe. And we'll send